Do I have to be weak to be a Christian? How can I tell if I am being too arrogant? In the Beatitudes, Jesus said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." Does this mean it's a sin to stand up for what's right? Do I have to be a doormat in my family and my workplace? How do I know if I'm meek enough? Jesus once had to face a whole village full of people who felt that he had overstepped his authority. I'll deal with that situation in depth on the platform this coming Sunday at Sonrise, and I invite you to attend if you can. If not, there will be a shorter treatment on our YouTube page after that service. But let's look at the issue a little closer on this edition of Friday Focus. In Matthew 8:28 through 34, Jesus arrives in the region of the Gadarenes, and he's immediately confronted by two demon-possessed men who accuse him of intending to torment them. Now, it just happens that there was a large herd of pigs nearby, and they asked Jesus, instead of casting them out of the region, to cast them into those pigs. And when he did, those pigs immediately ran down the hill into the Sea of Galilee and drowned themselves. When the herdsmen saw that, they fled. They went into the village and reported what they had seen, and the villagers came out to investigate. And when they found Jesus talking to the demon-possessed man, they begged him to leave the area. This is where we see Jesus demonstrating meekness. Because in Matthew 9, verse 1, Matthew says, "And getting into the boat, he crossed over and came to his own city." And that's what draws our attention to Jesus' meekness in this passage. The Greek word for meek is pros, and it's defined as strength under control. The word was originally used to describe a war horse, strong and powerful, yet under control and willing to submit. And we see in this passage Jesus limiting his authority, his influence, depending on the situation. Notice with the demons, he's very aggressive. He doesn't back down. It's not right for those demons to torment those two men. And so Jesus insists that they leave. But when the villagers come and they insist that he leaves, he backs down. He does not use his authority or his influence to say, "Look, I'm in charge. I can do this. You have to submit." And meekness is often linked to the amount of influence or the amount of authority that we have in a given situation. So when you face injurious resistance to what's right, meekness might exercise authority. I once walked in on a coworker who was accusing Jesus of all that was wrong in Western history. He had acquired a nice-sized little audience and was very sure of himself. When he saw me, he loudly asked, "What have you got to say?" Now, I didn't want to argue, but I also knew that if I didn't answer, those in the crowd would leave believing his inaccuracies were true. When we got done, no one doubted he was wrong. But when faced with innocent or naive resistance to what is right, we might be more restrained using our authority. There is a story that I'm not quite as proud of. When I was a younger Christian, I was talking to an older man who was even newer in the faith than I was. Somehow he got around to saying that no one had ever seen God face to face. He was right. And even if he hadn't been, he deserved a humbler response than I gave him. I had just read the passage in Exodus 33, where in verse 11 it says, "Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to a friend." I'm afraid I embarrassed this gentleman greatly. I publicly corrected him, and I've regretted my misuse of that influence to this day. So, when you have a need to use your influence, consider those you have to confront. Those who are hurting others may need to see your strength, but those who are more innocent or naive may need to see your restraint. Remember, A meek response is strength under control and used for an unselfish end. This Friday focus is just a superficial look at this passage. Look for a more thorough treatment on YouTube this Sunday. And the platform presentation, the whole treatment, will be out on Wednesday. If you like this material, please press the thumbs up button. If you think it would be helpful to others, please share it. When you do, you help get the difference-making scripture to others. And please subscribe to get more from our platform, more scripture that makes a difference, and see more of our Friday focuses.